So what is this thing called leadership development that Starr Performance engages in? Over the past few years there's been quite a dramatic change in terms of how leadership development is undertaken. We've moved now from prescribed programs to much more customized type programs to match specific needs that clients have. It's far less about pure theory, but actually how do you apply models and concepts to real and present issues that the organisation faces. It's also less of a one-off journey. It used to be the case that you would go on a leadership development program and that was it. Now leadership development is seen much more as an ongoing journey of development with ongoing support. So things like coaching, things like action learning sets are ways of carrying on the journey, so to speak, as well as doing specific events or workshops. The delivery, I think, is so different as well. It's moving from this sense of lecturing and participants listening to a much more interactive and participatory and experiential experience for people who attend our workshops. And no longer do we see leadership development as purely developing individuals. It's developing individuals within a group of individuals, and there's something about the process of leadership which is important here. One of the best quotations that I think kind of resonates for leadership development comes from Henry Mintzberg, and he's, I suppose, a business philosopher, and what he says is thoughtful reflection on natural experience in the light of conceptual ideas is the most powerful tool we have for management learning. And in the programs that we develop at Starr Performance, there is something about ensuring that although we're offering up conceptual ideas and best practice, we're also using that as a catalyst to allow those on our workshops to be able to reflect on the usefulness and the application of those ideas based on the experience that they currently have within their own organisations, and that makes it a very rich and impactful learning experience. A few years ago at Princeton University developed a model of learning and development, and it's called the 70-20-10 model, and this model is a key backbone to the programs that we develop. And what it states really is that 70% of learning and development comes from on-the-job experience, and the reflection of that and the learning from on-the-job experience. 20% of development and learning comes from getting feedback from others and getting to understand how one fits into the organisation. And about 10%, which is a relatively small amount, comes from, you might call, traditional leadership courses and any additional reading that an individual undertakes. So at Starr Performance, what we do is try and blend all these elements into our programs to maximise the learning that participants will get from participation. And for the 70%, we try and include elements of one-to-one coaching, team coaching, action learning sets to help individuals to realise within their own workplaces over a period of time the learning that they've acquired. For the 20%, we're able to undertake psychometrics, 360 appraisals in order that individuals get a strong sense of where they are on their journey and what are the key areas for their development moving forward. And although with this supposedly 10%, which is traditional learning workshops, what we try and do is make sure that we kind of accelerate or maximise that 10% by including sufficient time within the workshops for individuals to work in small groups to better understand how they can apply some of the typical concepts and models that we bring out. So what is developed in this activity of leadership development? Well, in part it depends on the seniority of the role. Individuals who are transitioning into new roles require new capabilities and skills, and what is focused upon within the programme is then dependent upon the type of transition involved. It can be skills such as improving one's capacity to influence or to negotiate. It could be the acquisition of knowledge, for example, change and the management of change, and how a leader might go about providing a successful change programme. But also there's another element which I think is very important and often overlooked. It's the development of leadership capability, I suppose, an ability to be able to sort of thrive in a new higher level role, and that can involve developing an individual's capacity to be resilient, to lead in difficult times. It could be developing a repertoire of leadership skills and responses. It could be developing a leader's wisdom to better see the situations that they face and therefore be able to come out with better responses to those situations. There's something about agility for me. A key word in leadership development is agility. The agility to be able to flex in the moment, to be what you need to be in order to deal with the situations which arise there and then. And in particular, there's something here about being both supportive and challenging at the same time. That requires a certain agility, I think, in leadership. And I suppose the other element of this is this concept of emotional intelligence, building a leader's capacity for self-awareness and self-management in order that they can be more effective in very high level and complex roles.